Hi people. So it is 15:56 p.m. on the 5th of November GMT, and this election really is a nail biter. I think we're going to see a repeat of the events of 2000 times five, potentially. It's not exactly that. I've just turned on the TV here. I've got coverage in the background. Um, yeah, this is really quite something. You'll excuse me. I'm just taking the periodic from the screen. Which I might put onto my, I don't know, on some social media. But anyway, um, I've done the math, and Trump really has an uphill struggle. So as it stands, CNN has it. Biden has 253 electoral college votes. Trump has 213. The Associated Press put Biden on 264. They've included Arizona. Um, but the only way Trump can win this is by winning four at least out of those five states, and this is why. The all important electoral votes in the American system, which may well require reform. This is the logic of how this is going to play out. Assuming Trump gets Georgia, that's 16 electoral college votes, North Carolina, 15 electoral college votes, and Pennsylvania with 20 electoral college votes. They're all quite big, populous states. They all have big cities. Those are the three states that Trump is currently leading in. So let's say he gets them: Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. Um, then it still only brings his total up to 264 from 213. Um, so he would have to win Arizona and or Nevada as well to reach that 270. Biden, on the other hand, only needs to get Nevada with 6 electoral college votes and Arizona with 11 electoral college votes on top of his 253. Now, if Biden doesn't get either of those states, um, then he'll be just short of the 270 as well. I think the worst case scenario would be if it's so close in either of these states that there's a prolonged recount akin to Florida in 2000. Um, there is obviously some different circumstances. There's no Catherine Harris figure in this, as far as I know, that's closely tied to either campaign. You'll recall Catherine Harris was, I believe she was Secretary of State in Florida and chairwoman of the Bush campaign that year. Um, so when you do the math, it's very, very difficult to see Trump winning this. I will say that this is a lot closer than I thought it would be. I never thought Biden would get a landslide, but I did think he'd get a fairly comfortable win. Um, this is really uncomfortable for the Democrats because it's so close and yet they haven't got it yet. And theoretically, they could still lose, like I say, if Trump picks up four of those states. Now, what I find interesting is the counties where the battles seem to be held at the moment, seem to be going on, are urban counties that make up the suburbs of big cities. So Fulton County in Georgia is the Atlanta suburbs. Allegheny County in Pennsylvania, I believe, is the Pittsburgh suburbs or the Philadelphia suburbs. Maricopa County, Arizona, is the Phoenix suburbs, and Clark County, Nevada, the Las Vegas suburbs. So I think Biden's going to win this. I think if there is another projection today, I think Georgia may be projected, Arizona may be projected. It's going to really give an indication, and CNN or other networks may be confident enough to actually project the president. Um, Now, assuming that happens, and assuming it is Biden, I can see Trump kicking up a stink. Let's say it's close. Let's say Trump gets another sizable state like Pennsylvania, so he gets up to the 240s, 250s in electoral college votes, something like that. Yeah, I think he's going to kick up a stink. He's already threatening legal action. So even if Biden wins, in that sense, it's not going to be a repeat of Florida because Biden will have legally won. There'll be no contention. he will have got the electoral college votes. But Donald Trump being what he is, and given the way he has galvanized his supporters, there were disgraceful scenes in Maricopa County where Trump supporters were, protesting outside the county. These are volunteers that the people are counting. Some of them are elderly. They're working very hard. They're trying to do the best they can. So having a noisy distraction outside is not going to help. On top of that, there were reports that they were threatening to barge in. Now, if Biden wins, my concern is some Trump voters will not accept it. They, you know, the right has been very quick to point out the rioting of the left, and that has been a problem. But I do think with the way that Trump is promoting conspiracy theories about election fraud, among other things, I think he could rile up his base. Trump is not going to be a gracious loser. Um, and it's a potentially volatile situation because of the depth of division that is over there. I mean, it's always been there. In every election, there's a degree of, tribalism going on. But I really think the current environment in the United States, there's been nothing like this since probably 1968, and I'm even including 1992 there. So it's a volatile situation. That's why it would be better for Biden to have a clean, like a comfortable win and get well over 270 rather than just 270. So I'm following this closely. You could see there CNN's coverage. People might say CNN's biased, and it is, but if I had access to Fox News, I'd be watching that as well. So that's just what I've got access to. And the other networks as well, the BBC was covering it. And I have to say, CNN's been pretty responsible about this. They have said that, Trump voters have a right to expect every vote counted and so on. But they can have it both ways. They can, in some areas, say we demand every vote is counted, whilst in others follow the president's lead and say we demand the voting is stopped. Because the votes that are being counted aren't new votes, they're just votes that are over because there's so many of them. I mean, this is a country of 330 million people, so I don't know what the electorate is. I would imagine it's a lot of people, well over, I don't know, I'd imagine well over 280 million, 18 plus people registered to vote. I guess it would be a pretty big electorate. Biden's already got 72 million votes nationwide, so he's already got a record for the popular vote, surpassing Hillary Clinton. But this really is engaging. I want to watch a film, I want to watch Twister, but I don't want to miss anything. This is, I mean, it's not trivial, it's a very important thing, but it is engaging. And here's an important thing, trying to keep the screen as stable there as possible. You can't quite see it, it's cut off. But in Nevada, it's down to 7,000 votes. Now, that's still a lot wider than the 537 in Florida in 2000. That is very close. So, you know, Biden could still lose Nevada. It's really tight. And I don't think this will be resolved today. I hope it is, but I think there'll be recounts in Georgia or Arizona, and I don't think this is going to be resolved today, which is potentially a problem if tensions rise on the street. So let's hope for some clarity.